Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title, today is going to be a dating horror story. Now before we get started, let me give you a definition of what a zombie boo is. A zombie boo is someone who likes to resurrect themselves from the dead and bring themselves back into your life. So it could be years, months, you don't hear from this person, then randomly they just resurrect like a zombie. Type it, text it, call it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a zombie boo. So this zombie boo actually came into my life when I was in college, okay? It's important for you to know the backstory of how I met him because it's gonna play into what's currently going on with zombie boo. Yes, zombie boo has resurrected himself in 2021, okay? Yes. So, I was leaving the nail shop where I used to live. It's a very popular area. And as I was walking, me and my sister were getting in the car, and he stopped me and he's like, hey, I just wanted to give you my business card. He hands me his business card, which we'll get into. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, do you think you'll ever need these services? I said, well, my friend is having a party, I'll give her the card. I guess she's interviewing a few people. She can, let you know if she wants to move forward. So I go to close my door. He stops my door. He's like, can I get your phone number? Now keep in mind, he is very handsome. My sister, the irritable person that she is like, she's ready to go. So I'm like, okay, sure. I give him my phone number. This business card, y'all. Because his business card was him emerging out of what appeared to be like a jungle with no shirt on. And at the bottom of the card, it said that he was an entertainer. He was a dancer. He was a stripper, guys. So I don't discriminate. And plus at that time, I didn't care. It was just like, whatever. So I took his card. I called him, very educated, very well spoken. And that's when I came to find out that aside from being a stripper, he was also a professional basketball player, team I will not discuss. And he was also a little league coach. Crazy resume, right? We were hanging out, we were talking, everything was going cool. And then I'm a very blunt person, guys. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you and truthful with you. And like, he would have conversations with me and he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna dance to this song at this party and I'm gonna pass out my business cards and I really want to do my little league stuff more. And it was like he was very ambitious. So the one thing about me is whether I'm serious about you, whether we're just cool, whether you're an associate, if you want to do something or be better at anything, I'm going to try to help you move forward, whether it be the smallest words of encouragement, whether it be references, like that's what I'm gonna do. So I kind of told him like, okay, boo, like you're dancing to the gospel song on Chris Brown's CD and you probably should be dancing to Poppin' or, something that would bring those feelings out of a woman because that's gonna make all feelings go in when you're dancing to a gospel song. I also had a friend that did like graphic design. So I was like, buy a pack of cards, like, business cards from like Staples or anywhere, and like a cartridge of ink. She will design it for free and print them all out so that you have like some new, fresh, better cards than you emerging out of the jungle. And you'll also have separate business cards for your other business venture, okay? I'm helping him with the little business aspect. I'm doing me. Like I said, I'm in college and living my best life. And one day he calls me and he's like, hey, I have a event to go to tomorrow. Do you think you can drop off the cars that your friend made? I'm like, sure, yeah, that's what they're for, right? So I was really, really busy. I was like in the middle of like midterms or finals, I don't remember. It may have been finals. But I was just really busy. Time was of the essence. I was working late hours and I was going to school. It was just a lot. So I was like, you know what? He has an event. So I'm gonna make sure I get this to him because it sounds important. So I make a point to go over there, okay? And I'm like, hey, I'm outside your house, where are you? He's like, oh, my cousin called me. He wanted to go hang out for a minute. Oh no. Now I realize this sounds petty, but I consider it disrespectful when you make me waste my gas. Now understand, I have never had a car that was good on gas. I have always driven like American muscle, like gas guzzling cars. So if I put my petroleum, my 91 petroleum in my car and I drive to your house to do a favor for you, and you don't even be like, hey, how long is it gonna take you to get here? I'm leaving. You disrespected me. So like I said, I didn't care too much about the entanglement to stick around and discuss it or tell you what I do or don't like. I said, you wasted my time, you wasted my gas, I'm done. So he was very upset. He's like, this is so childish. Like, I'll give you the money for your gas. And it's not about the gas. It was about the gas, but it wasn't about the gas. It's about the fact that you think my time is not important as yours. So for me, that's always a red flag. Deuces and I'm out. So several years later, he resurrected himself and was like, hey, I'm gonna be playing overseas. I'm excited. I'm gonna be living in blah, blah country. I'm like, oh, that's cool, good for you. And he's like, you know, I would love to see you before I go. Not gonna happen, but I wish you the best. So for a couple of like months while he was in the new country, he would text me and I would, you know, respond back a little bit because I didn't want him to be like lonely or anything, but you know, it wasn't much you were gonna get out of me there. And then he fell off. So that was the first resurrection. And then maybe probably about 5 years later, I'm, you know, walking to the local corner store on my street, okay? And I get out the car, I hop out. At this point, I had a different car. And as I'm approaching, I see him in front of the store talking to two girls who are like gushing over him, like, ooh, just like gushing. So I keep it pushing, like, I'm not finna, you know, get in the way of that. I'm not gonna, you know, cock block. I'm gonna let you do your thug thizzle, my nizzle. So as I'm walking past him, looking straight forward, I see him do this. And he like snarls as he like watches me walk in there. And I'm like, now keep in mind, I'm not no punk. I ain't no punk. I will fight. But that was a little bit weird. So it caught me off guard because I'm like, are we beefing? Did something happen? Like, so I'm like looking in the store, trying to pick up random stuff, looking over here, like trying to avoid this blazing stare. So I get what I need to get. I walk out. When I walk out, I look at him. He looks almost as if he wants to end the conversation he's having with those girls and say something to me, but he pauses. And I just get in my car and I leave. Because again, the entanglement was never really worth that much to me. It didn't matter that much to me. So, I don't consider that him resurrecting himself. That was just a chance meeting, right? So I'm sitting here talking to my homegirl one day and she's like, I met this guy. She's like, he plays basketball. She's like, he's really handsome, he's really nice, he's very respectable. She said, but what I don't like is that he sent me a picture of his body. I was like, girl, we talking up or below? She's like, no, up. I'm like, what? Now, men, any men that are watching, please know that, ladies, we share the picture. If you're not our boyfriend, if you're not somebody said, we share the picture that you sent to us, Nars. We just do, it's a fact. Morning, we'll send that picture to the homegirl. So she sent the picture to me, and as soon as she sent it, it was literally just like this much, like neck and chest. I said, wow, is this him? And I sent a picture of him. Now, what I neglected to advise you guys is over the years, we had ended up connecting on all social media. So I had a picture of him because we're on social media together. I said, is this him? I sent the picture. She goes, yeah, how did you know that? I said, okay, do you remember back in the day, my best friend Catherine, she also knows my best friend Catherine, used to tease me about my jungle boo? And she was like, no. I was like, yes, that's him. And she's like, oh, I didn't know. I'm like, listen, you can totally 100% date him. I have no qualms or issues. I'm not just saying that to say it. Like, you should date him. He's a nice guy. Go for it. And she's like, no, I'm not dating him. He dated you. I'm like, I couldn't explain any better. Like, it really did not matter to me at all. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a -10 on how much it mattered to me if she talked to him. That happened probably about 2 or 3 more times, to be honest with you. And then it kind of came to me that he was just like that area dude. Like, you know, like, he frequented that area. He lived nearby, but he lived in a different city over. But he frequented this area to pick up women. That's the conclusion that I came to. That's why he was always over there, despite the fact that he did not live in that area. Okay, so now we bring ourselves to current resurrection. We would have a couple of times where he would just resurrect himself, and he would tell me he was blessing me, and he would be super religious and, you know, super into connecting over some business plan or something that he had, considering he saw that I was very business minded at a young age. So several resurrections, never stepped out so much as in a parking lot to shake his hand. I always kept it on the phone. When I'm done, I'm done. Like, seriously, people, when I'm done, I'm done. So fast forward to about, I don't even really know. Was COVID alive and well? I'm pretty sure COVID was alive and well. And I go to my mom's house and I walk upstairs and my sister's friend is sitting on the couch and she's like, hey, we just came back from the mall. Now this mall is in a whole nother area. And she was like, and your sister thinks that she ran into your ex. I'm like, really? I'm starting naming people. And she's like, no, that's not him. She was like, but she said that he played basketball. I'm like, okay, I have 3 exes that used to play basketball. And for some reason, he was just telling me it was him. So again, I pull out a picture. I'm like, is this him? She's like, yeah, that's him. I said, oh, okay. So when my sister comes upstairs, I'm like, oh, so you ran into so-and-so. She's like, yeah, and he asked me for my phone number. She was like, I gave it to him. She said, and then as he started talking to me, I'm like, something about him seems really familiar. And one thing to point out, every time that somebody said they met a guy and they told me about him, he always gave them a fake name. And I started to think maybe I had the fake name because everybody else got like a different name. So I didn't have the fake name, I had the real name. So I asked my sister, I was like, what name did he give you? And he gave her the same name that he gave me. She's like, that's what kind of stuck in my head, the name. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy, that's so weird. And she's like, yeah. I said, oh, well, I mean, you can totally date him, that was a long time ago. She's like, absolutely not, under no circumstances. I know that sounds weird for me to say it, but I absolutely did not care if she dated him. Like, did not care, okay? Understand, like I said, he's a nice guy, he's handsome. I mean, he's not like to the point where when he asks for your number, you finna be running all around, jumping over coffee tables, but I mean, he's a prospect. So if somebody wanted to date him, I would not stop them. Like, I would not. So my sister texted him, and I actually was gonna have her come on to share her portion of this entanglement, but it was so small and minute that it didn't really matter. She texted him and she's like, hey, you used to talk to my sister and I just realized that, so I don't really think that this is gonna work. And he's like, huh? Who's your sister? I'm excellent at remembering names. She gives him my name. He goes, no, I don't know her. So my sister sent him a picture. He goes, never seen her before, and I'm really good about faces. So what's up? And just keeps texting her. So she's like, I don't know why you are still texting me when I just explained to you used to date my sister. Now remember I said when I first met him, she was with me. So that's why she knows for it. That's why I was like, it took a minute because it had been so many years, but she's literally seen his face. So long story short, he's still trying to text her and then he zombies and dies off. So we just chuck it up, think it's funny, think nothing of it. Then randomly in the new year approaches, I get a random text from a weird number. And it's like, hey, is this Amber? It's a number I don't have in my phone. And I don't delete numbers. Like if I don't want to talk to you anymore, I just store your name as don't answer. I don't delete because I don't want to be surprised. So I'm like, who is this? He says his name. So I immediately fall out laughing. Then he sends me a random picture of him holding a fish. Then a random picture of him making a smoothie. And then a random picture, what was it? Okay, a fish, a picture of him exercising, a picture of him in formal wear, a selfie, and then a picture of him making a smoothie. Like not him actually making the smoothie, like the ingredients to the smoothie. Now, my thing is this, we haven't spoken in several years. You got one shot, bro. One shot to be like, bam, razzle dazzle, look at me now. And those are the pictures you chose to send? Like, was I supposed to be like, oh yeah, the guy that like fish, because that's nothing we ever talked about. Or, oh yeah, the guy that be making them smoothie. Like, oh, the guy I went to prom with. Like, I don't understand why those were the picture choices. Like, do you get me? Like, and what was even funnier to me about it is, homeboy, you just said you did not know who I was several months ago. Here we are now. You have a new phone and a new phone number, and you managed to transfer my contact throughout all of those phones and phone numbers and still remember my name. But when someone asked you and sent a picture, you said you didn't know me. But I made the cut for the new phone and the new phone number. That takes balls, guys. That takes balls. And I felt like he was waiting for me to be like, didn't you try to talk to my sister and you said you didn't know me? But see, in order to get mad about something like that, I would have to care, right? I would have to care. And I didn't care. Now, I'm not gonna put the conversation on the screen, but I am gonna show you, okay? I am gonna show you how, those are the pictures, I don't wanna show the pictures, how long these texts are. And if you have an iPhone, you know when someone responds, it's blue. or it's green. And there was very little responses from me. This went on for days and days, just pages and pages and paragraphs, letting me know what he was up to, sending me pictures of his bank account. I mean, full on resurrection. So, yeah, I'm fully in a whole relationship, and I highly doubt my boyfriend would appreciate me having long paragraph text message conversations with an ex. So you know what I had to do when the text messages would not stop. I had to hit the block button. I did. Now this, I can guarantee you, is not the end of Zombie Boo. Like I said, this has been going on since I was in college, and I'm clearly out of college, and it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. So yeah, make sure you guys comment down below and tell me, do you guys have a zombie boo who likes to just resurrect himself and make himself present every now and then, like, hey, over here, don't forget me. Now, keep in mind though that they will keep resurrecting if you tag them in. So ladies, gentlemen, do not tag your zombie in. Don't tag them in. That's letting them think that that behavior is okay. Okay, that's gonna be my little tip for you into 2021. Leave the zombie boos back. Don't bring them forward. And that's all I have for you guys. Love you, mean it, bye.